Oh, da na 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 na. What's up, y'all? PhilyfliShow checking in here, kicking in Right Way Production Studios, and we are back. Had some major technical difficulties last week. Put last week's show in motion, and then this computer was just giving me a problem. Had to re-update and do all this fun stuff. By the time I was ready and done, I had some other obligations I wanted to do, so I totally skipped last week. And for my punishment, I'm bringing you a UFC fight night at the Apex, which I don't typically do, but like I said, it's punishment for skipping last week and being unfortunate for my fans. All right, y'all. So we got a UFC fight night. It is at the Apex. It is a decent main event. It is Jared Cannonier versus Gregory Rodriguez, aka RoboCop. If you haven't watched a lot of his fights, he did get knocked out about 4 fights ago, but the dude can take almost any strike and literally just keep walking forward. And it looks like when he does take the bad ones and his legs are not under him fully, he still just walks forward trying to fight you too. So it's going to be a good banger fight. Jared Cannonier always brings it. The only fight that we didn't see the same Jared Cannonier was the fight against Israel, and that was an unfortunate fight. But like I said, it's going to be a good main event. There are 13 fights on here. Some decent ones. I did do one small parlay, but we'll talk about that at the end like I always do anyways. And there is a couple good banger fights and a good fight that I'm predicting KO. So let's jump into it. We got match leg number 13 here. We'll start in the female bantamweight division. We get Julia Avila versus Jacqueline Calvacetti. Now, Jacqueline is a negative 850 favorite. Julia is a plus 500. Julia, when she first came into the UFC, had a great run, but unfortunately, age catches up with you, and in the fight game, it can catch up with you quick, and that's kind of what it's looked like with her, is that the age has caught up with her, where she's fighting a younger fighter in Jacqueline, who is a upcoming prospect with beautiful, beautiful striking. So it's going to be a tough fight for a tough night. I'm going Jacqueline Calvacetti. 3 out of 5 on the confidence level that she gets her hand raised on that fight. All right, match like number 12. We'll jump into the heavyweight division of the heavyweight male division. Obviously, no heavyweight female, but heavyweight division. Dontel Mays versus Walter Walker. Now, Walter Walker is Johnny Walker's younger brother, if I'm not mistaken. Fights at heavyweight though, so it's pretty cool. He has some decent skills that it's not. He doesn't have like a crazy power shots that his brother does, but he's got grappling that he can add to his game. He's a little different, so it's gonna be a fun fight. Now, Dontel Mays, you're either gonna get a great looking guy where you're like, oh man, he can beat anybody in the heavyweight division, or you're gonna get the other guy who gets caught and gets knocked out and doesn't look like a good top prospect in the heavyweight division. So it's going to be good test there, but I think Walter Walker gets a major win there. Negative 245 on Walter. Dontel Mays plus 200 underdog. Like I said, I'm going Walter here. 3 out of 5 on the confidence level that he gets his hand raised after the fight. All right, match like number 11 is Vince Morales versus Elijah Smith. This is a bantamweight fight. Vince made his UFC debut last fight. It wasn't a very good debut. Elijah is making his, but he looked really good. He is only 22 years old, so it is a very young guy coming in here, taking on another guy who, he's not so much older. I think he's 27, I think it was, and Vince, but not the same type of prospects here. I'm going to go Elijah with the negative 140. Vince is a plus 120. Go either way you want on that one, guys, because I'm just going to pick the prospect here. 1 out of 5 on the confidence level. He gets his hand raised. I'm going to tell you, if you're going to got some parlays, don't put that fight on a parlay. Match like number 10 is a welterweight fight. This is our first banger fight of the night. This fight is one that you're not going to skip. Now, we got the Bomb Theme twins. This fight here does have one of the Bomb Theme twins in it. I don't think they're actually twins, but brothers. My bad, I keep saying twins. It's totally not twins, it's brothers. The Bomb Theme brothers, though, they're fun to watch. And lately, they've both been on the same cards of each other unless one fight dropped off. I think one of the times their opponent dropped off and they didn't get a fight. But they've been fighting together on the cards that they've been fighting, so that's pretty fun. It's Gabriel Bonfim versus Chaos Williams. What a name to have in the UFC. It's funny because that is totally his legal name, too. He didn't change it either. He was born and given that name. So, what an awesome name to have as a UFC fighter. Gabriel Bonfim, negative 210 favorite. Chaos Williams, plus 175. Welterweight, banger fight. Whatever way you want to go on this. The difference for me is going to be the gas tank of Chaos Williams. He likes to start out the first rounds just throwing haymakers, winging shots, overhands, all power shots, and it just seems like he gasses himself. Now, his last fight, he totally worked on that, but second round came in, totally started doing the same thing. So it's a 50-50 shot when you're learning how to change your default setting is what I like to call it. Chaos likes to bring the chaos, bring the fight. Gabriel Bonfim, more technical in his striking, uses grappling and striking together, so we're going to be able to see that. It's just going to be that gas tank for Chaos. Does he manage it? If he manages it for the first 2 rounds, this could be a very good 3-round fight and one that you don't want to turn off. But for me, I think the gas tank's going to be the issue for Chaos. I think he's going to wing too many shots. Gabriel's going to end up taking him down, wearing him out, and finishing him in some form or fashion. So I'm going Gabriel Bonfim with a negative 210. 1 out of 5 on the confidence level, though, because this fight is a banger, and both these guys bring it. So don't miss that fight. Match like number 9 is Rafael Esteban versus Jesus Aguilar. Now, Esteban is a great-looking flyweight prospect. Negative 525 on Rafael. I'm pretty sure it's going to be Rafael, though. Jesus Aguilar, man, plus 360 underdog. It's good odds if you want to risk it there. The thing is, it's going to be a good test for Rafael because Jesus is no joke. Literally no joke. So, 3 out of 5 on the confidence level that Rafael, though, gets his hand raised after this fight. I was confident looking at this on paper. I'm starting to second guess myself a little bit, guys. So, Jesus Aguilar, it's just a good fighter, but it's a flyweight fight. The better guy on paper is Rafael, but like I said, anything can go in the UFC fights. All right, match like number 8 is a lightweight fight between Jared Gordon and Marshaban Ruzabej. Now, Ruzabev is pretty sure he's making his UFC debut. It's a very hard fight to make for your UFC debut against Jared Gordon, a guy who he gave Paddy Pimblett a good fight, and when Paddy was a prospect, he likes to take on these young guys and kind of be the gatekeeper and show them, like, hey, the UFC is tough competition. If you can't beat Jared, you ain't beating the rest of the top. Now, remember, the lightweight division is definitely the deepest. There's 2 super deep divisions in the UFC that I think. Bantamweight and lightweight. Lightweight's better than bantamweight, but lightweight needs a top 20, almost a top 25 ranking system because of how deep it is. Let's just say you're in the top 15. Clap, 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 because making the top 15 in this lightweight division is absolutely insane out there. So, Jared, I think, has been very close to getting in the top 15, but hasn't cracked it yet either. Jared's a negative 360 favorite, whereas Ruzabev is a plus 270 underdog. I'm going Jared here. I think Jared's going to be way too much for Ruzabev's first fight. It's going to be an eye-opener for him. It's going to be a good fight to watch. Not like extremely good, but don't miss it. These prelims aren't that bad, but usually on these fight nights at the Apex, the prelims are just prospects. So, all right, featured prelim bout of the evening is a strawweight female fight between Angela Hill and Caitlin Souza. They're both a negative 110 pick'em. You can go whatever route you want. Look, Angela at 40 years old for a female just doesn't even look like she's really slowing down. It looks like she's improving on everything. Caitlin Souza, that MMA skill set for strawweight division is a lot. Like, it's going to be a lot to deal with girls, but the strawweights, again, probably one of the stronger divisions for the UFC. In the female side, I wouldn't say it's super deep, but it's getting better and better every year. This is a good fight, and this is a no-miss featured prelim. I'm not going to get a very big prediction here because I don't know who's going to win. I went with Caitlin Souza only because the flip of the coin happened and it landed on her. I couldn't pick this fight. 1 out of 5 on a confidence level that Caitlin Souza gets her hand raised. All right, we'll jump to the main card here. We get 6 fights on the main card. Featherweight male division, Connor Matthews versus Jose Delgado. Conor's got one UFC or two UFC fights under him, and maybe one. I think he has two Dana White contender fights under him too. So got a contract. Same thing with Jose. Jose got a contract through the Dana White Contender Series 2. Jose is a negative 450 favorite, whereas Conor's a plus 325 underdog. It was hard to get a lot of information on these guys. Yes, I can just look up their last wins and stuff, but I mean like watching their fights, trying to see any major skill set that they have. So it was kind of hard. So didn't go flip of the coin here. Just kind of went with looking at Jose, where he came up through in his MMA promotion that he came up through for his pros, is on the better side of promotions. It's not the greatest, but it's on the better side compared to where Conor came from. So that's where fight talent and fight skill set against each other kind of comes in. And I had to go Jose. He is a negative 450 favorite, but I went Jose because I just think he's a little bit better just from what the small information I can get about both these fighters. Conor went back, watched his last UFC fight, and watched one of his Dana Contender Series fights. Wasn't that impressed, so that's why I'm going to go Jose here. And 3 out of 5 on the confidence that he gets his hand raised after the fight. All right, guys. Here is a middleweight fight. This is a no-miss banger fight. Do not miss this fight. We get Rodolfo Vera versus Andre Petroski. Andre's a plus 235 underdog, whereas Rodolfo's a negative 290 favorite. Look, man, if you've never seen Rodolfo fight, the dude brings it every fight. He's well-rounded in all skill sets in MMA. And the guy he's fighting, Andre Petroski, is mainly a grappling style fighter who has a bad gas tank and comes up short against any talent that is equal to him or above him, and Rodolfo I think is way above him, so I'm thinking Rodolfo gets a big KO here. Also, Petroski has not shown me that his chin has gotten any better, so Rodolfo just needs to land on that chin, and it's going to be nighty-night time for good old Andre. Rodolfo gets the win, 3 out of 5 on the confidence level. He gets his hand raised. All right, another lightweight fight here. Ismail Bonfim versus Nazim Saduku. Now, Nazim is a plus 185 underdog. Ishmael's a negative 225 favorite. Ishmael's well-rounded skill set is going to be way, way too much for Nazim. It's not even going to be a fair fight for me. Ishmael's going to get a major win here. I don't know if he can get a finish because I'm not going to predict a finish with that guy, but he's going to get a big win here. 3 out of 5 on the confidence level. Ishmael gets his hand raised. Don't miss that fight. The Bonfim twins literally bring it every fight too. It's going to be great. Don't miss. All right. Middleweight fight in the male division. Match link number 3. Edmund Shabazian versus Dylan Bolka. Now, Dylan is a plus 290 underdog. Edmund negative 390. Look, Edmund, he's a young prospect that was very highly touted coming out when I'm going to say about 4 years ago now, maybe a little more. The problem is he's lost some bad fights and not look like he's learning. It's more looking like he just keeps coming up short against big name fighters. Dylan Bolka has fought some decent guys, so he's got experience. I think this fight is a lot closer than they got on paper. I picked Edmund Shabazian just because I think he's got more power in his shots. So if he can land even on the ground or on his feet, it's going to be a bad night for Dylan, but Dylan's a brawler too. These are prospect guys fighting each other, both raw, both want it. Man, and like I said, I picked Edmund, but it's only a 1 out of 5 on that confidence level. Edmund gets the win. Do not parlay this on any parlay, guys. Just don't. Not worth the juice that's in the cards there. All right, co-main event is a don't miss fight no matter what. The problem with this fight is Calvin Kattar is on a slide. He is 36 years old. Like I said, sometimes age, it hits you faster. Some guys hit it at 36 to 38. Some guys can last a little longer, like Jared Cannonier, Angela Hill. Some of these fighters can just defy age a little bit. Calvin has not looked that good in his last 5 fights, so the plus 375 underdog on Calvin's fair. He is fighting Yusuf Zalal. Now, Yusuf has now got 3 wins under his belt after getting cut from the promotion, going to work on his game. Now he's come back. He's looked really, really good. The problem is he's not he's fought young prospects in the featherweight, but he's not fought top contenders like a guy like Calvin Kattar, who has fought the guys of like Max Holloway, gotten close to a title fight, beaten some dudes that he shouldn't have beaten. Yeah. So Yusuf negative 550, Calvin plus 375. It was hard for me because I was a big Calvin Kattar guy. But Yusuf, with his resurgence, has showed me that not only can he grapple, and he's going to use grappling to wear you down, his striking has just gotten way, 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 way better. Elite ions beyond what he was before he left the UFC for his first stint. I'm going to go Zalal here, only because I think Calvin Kattar is just kind of, it's done. His career's kind of over. I think Zalal gets a big win. I don't think he gets a finish, but I think he gets a big win. Decision win. I'd probably go decision win to get the better odds on there. That's actually what I'm going to pick. Tell you to go Yusuf Zalal, decision win. Get better odds. 3 out of 5, though, on the confidence level that Yusuf gets his hand raised. And we get to the main event of the evening. Jared Cannonier versus Gregory Rodriguez, a.k.a. RoboCop. Middleweight fight. Top contenders fights. Trying to see if Gregory's got the skill set to get to a championship fight. Jared Cannonier wants to get back, but it doesn't look like Jared Cannonier is going to get back. He's on a 2-fight skid. I think it's the end of Jared Cannonier's career. Again, 40 years old. Not bad to go out this way at 40 years old. But hey, it's not what everybody wants. Plus 190 on Cannonier, negative 235 on Gregory. You already know where I'm going here. I've kind of hinted at it this whole time. RoboCop ain't losing this fight because Jared Cannonier's career is unfortunately going to be over. And after this fight, I don't know if he gets another one in the UFC. I think the UFC could cut him just because if he doesn't have a decent performance, it's not going to be a good night. Now, I did say I did a parlay. Here's how I'm going to talk about this parlay. Okay, a lot of times, guys, I will do a parlay 6 to 8 and lose it by 1. So for what I'm going to do for you guys here, I'm going to mix it in. I'm going to give you 4. The 4 that I really like that you put on a parlay 4 by itself, and then you add whatever you think is going to be possible for this. That means you can move it up to 6. You can add your 4 if you want. You can do whatever you want. It's a 13-fight light card. I'm going to suggest you take my 4, add 2. Do whatever you want, whatever you're confident in. But here's the 4 I'm leaning on. It would be Jacqueline Calcetti, Walter Walker, Rodolfo Vera, and Ishmael Bonfim. Now, I would like to add the other Bonfim guy on there, but I just didn't want to risk it, so I picked the 4 that I think are going to be almost locks. You add your locks, get the money up there, make some money for the average Joes. The PhilyfliShow is checking out for the night, or for the evening. Share this with your homies, and shout out to Ray Production Studios for always making this happen. And thanks for dealing with me with my sore throat and not feeling the greatest today, guys. But hey, we toughed through it. No coughing. Got the show done. See y'all next week. Peace.